So it's 2026 and you still haven't beaten your first Extreme Demon. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how you can beat your first Extreme Demon by the end of the year. There will be different sections for each point in skill progression, so if you're a more advanced player, then feel free to skip ahead. Anyways, let's get right into it. If you're in this stage, you probably haven't beaten your first demon yet, and you either just downloaded the game recently or never really cared enough to get better. For everyone stuck on Time Machine, Electrodynamics, or even your first medium demon, this section is for you. At this stage, the first thing you need to do is beat every Rob Top level except for the demons. You know, the ones with this face on them. You may face some roadblocks like Electrodynamics or Hexagon Force, but that's nothing practice mode can't fix. What's that? You don't use practice mode? Well, if you are unaware, practice mode allows you to play through a level while placing checkpoints so that if you die, you respawn at that checkpoint. This allows you to learn later parts of the level without being thrown into a part you don't know on a good run from zero. Learning the level this way will help reduce nerves so you don't freak out at 40%. While I'm explaining things, you should also know what a buffer is. It is when you press an input before interacting with an object so that you interact with that object on the very first frame possible. Anyways, after beating the Rob Top levels, the first thing you need to do is beat your first easy demon. There are many levels to choose from, but I would recommend beating Shiver, Fjork, or Iz as your first demon. These levels are somewhat challenging, especially Fjork, but they are a great introduction to demons as they provide an actual challenge instead of undercutting what a demon really is. If you believe that these are too difficult though, I would recommend beating the Nightmare or the Lightning Road as a little confidence boost. If you do decide to beat these levels, then make sure to remember that these are not indicative of what a demon really is. Now that you've beaten your first easy demon, you should beat at least 4 to 9 more before working on your first medium demon. You might be asking, that's a lot of easy demons. Is that really necessary? What about jumping to difficult levels? To this I say yes, it is a lot. But if you want to build actual skill, you need to beat a fair amount of these levels. Similar to how you learn a sport or something like math, you need to practice the basics before you move on to the more complex portions. I do acknowledge that jumping may be more advantageous for some, but oftentimes it only undermines a player's skill. After Trick, the number 3 player, jumped to Firework, he said he lacked the skill to play other levels on the same caliber. This made him have to go back and beat easier levels to actually build his skill. Unfortunately, backtracking can lead to some serious burnout, so I would heavily recommend against jumping because of this. My last reason is you're not Zoink. Anyways, here's a good list of levels to beat at this stage before moving on to medium demons. Pick any 5 to 10. Welcome to stage 2 and congratulations on your defeat of all those easy demons. Your skill has definitely improved. You will need to complete a few medium demons before attempting your first hard demon. Medium demons are a fair bit harder than easy demons, but if you beat Deadlocked or Decode, it shouldn't be too big of a jump. Most of the difficulty in medium demons comes from different mechanics rather than purely more difficult gameplay. Make sure that you're continuing to use practice mode on these levels. Here is a list of medium demons to beat before attempting your first hard demon. Pick any 3 to 5. Welcome to stage 3. This stage will have you beating hard demons in preparation for insane demons. Hard demons are quite the step up from medium demons and will require much more practice. The main difference of difficulty between medium and hard demons is freedom of movement. Most new mechanics were established in the last stage, so expect everything to be much tighter than before. If you spend 1 to 2 days on a medium demon, then prepare for hard demons to take triple the time or more. If you are truly struggling to beat a hard demon, then there are a few tactics you can use, such as beating it backwards, but more on those in stage 4. To beat a hard demon, you need to be consistent about playing and don't give up just because it gets hard. Here's a good list of hard demons that are both fun and challenging. Choose any 2 to 4 before moving on. This is stage 4, the last stage to complete before attempting your first extreme demon. If you have made it this far, you are already far better than the average player. In this stage, you will need to beat your first insane demon, a big jump in difficulty from hard demons. A characteristic of this difficulty though is its wide range. Some levels are close to hard demons and others could be considered extremes. It would be optimal for you to pick an easier demon like Windy Landscape before attempting a harder one like Poltergeist. For insane demons, it will be almost a requirement for you to implement the beat it backwards strategy. In this strategy, you will start from the back half of the level and do runs to the end as you gradually move backwards towards zero. This strategy will help you take away a lot of nerves and help you beat levels much more efficiently. When implementing the beat it backwards strategy, a start pause switcher in the form of a geode mod or mega hack will come in handy. What are those, you ask? Geode is a mod client with many different mods that you can download within the client. Mega hack, on the other hand, is a mod client with many different settings that you can apply to your game. One of those settings is a start position switcher. There are plenty of YouTube videos out there explaining how to download Geode or Mega Hack, so I'm not going to explain that here. Here's a list of insane demons to beat. Pick any 1 easy and 1 to 2 hard before moving on to your first extreme demon. Congratulations! You are finally ready to beat your first extreme demon. Prepare for this to be far harder than anything else you've already done in this game. At this point, you should either get Mega Hack or a similar mod through Geode, as they will make the learning process of extremes much smoother. This is because it is necessary for you to implement the beat it backwards strategy from the previous stage. You should also know that the jump from Insane Demon to Extreme Demon is far greater than anything else before, but at this point, you are more than ready. So don't give up and prepare for this accomplishment to take time. Now, obviously everyone is different, but if you follow this guide, you should totally be able to beat it within a month. I took down Aku myself in 6 days. Also, don't be afraid to switch levels after your initial decision if you aren't loving it, because above all, you want to make sure that you avoid burnout. Once you've beaten your first extreme, you will have enough knowledge to progress on your own. And lastly, if you're looking into Aku, there's a full in-depth guide on my channel. Without further ado, here is a good list of levels to beat as your first extreme demon. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I hope this helps on your journey to beat your first extreme demon. Please leave a like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Anyways, good luck and happy grinding.